effing well are you pumping for it out there? And I was just like, mate, I didn't actually mean to pump. I was like, what are you
if
doing?
You want
like,
fucking pump, I'll pump you.
and then the other guy got off the bike and started coming towards the car as well. And I was just like, I'm gonna get my head kicked in here. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the Here's the Craic podcast, episode 45. 5 away from 50. A bit of a different view today.
Views.
Last week in Ballymena, this week in Derry.
Londonderry?
Londonderry.
Yeah.
If you watched the last podcast, you'll know what we're talking about.
If
I
you
thought London was 3 letters. When I look back at that, I was like, wow,
disappointing from
so
Ross.
spicy. But yeah, no, we're in Derry, short Londonderry, whatever your preference is. Oh, sorry. Nearly knocked Thomas's drink out of his hand. But yeah, how have you enjoyed going out and about?
Yeah, it's been good.
I feel like a wee talk
It's
show
a
here.
good spot, lah. So nice and pretty.
We have met so many people who have just walking along the street and they're like, you know, boys that do that podcast, lah.
Yeah, I've met a lot
Are you them TikTok boys? And we're like, yes, hello, how are you? I forget who we met last night. There was a few people come up to us last night.
It's nice meeting the listeners and people being so nice about the podcast.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day that we're walking along the street and someone's like, yeah, like one of the hateful TikTok commenters are gonna see us.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
You boys look like you're only out of bed. But anyway, we've got an exciting story to tell you, Shay, if you want to kickstart this.
I think I'll start it with, what are your top moments of Derry so far?
Oh, here.
Oh my god.
I would say the pool was fun this morning.
Yeah.
Just jumping in the pool was quite entertaining. Apart from that,
We'll just get straight into it. Let's not tiptoe
yeah,
around it.
let's not beat around this bush.
Out of the way, please.
Yeah. We'll leave it to the end, will we?
No.
Get
You have
up
to just
all
get
night
it. You have to save him the Barcelona. So I think
It's
you
been
should
going
tell.
on long enough.
You should tell it because I didn't even recognise that it happened this morning.
Well, I
Yeah.
explain what I did, and then you can explain what
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
Right, so out last night, obviously everyone is a bit fucking, how do I put it, hungover, sore heads in the morning. Woke up, got out of bed, had a wee glass of water and all, and then I was like, we have a room like overlooking, what river is it?
Foyle.
The Foyle, like literally
Pretty
right.
sure that's the Hope Bridge, is it?
Yeah, right beside the bridge, the twisty bridge. And then, so I was up and it was a class morning, and I was like looking out the window and I was like, oh, what a view, like. And I thought, I'll send this to the boys in Snapchat. Sent the wee video of just like a wee 3-second video looking out the window, like, and sent it in. I goes, views, and say, you can take it from here.
Well, I
So,
seen
yeah.
the Snapchat this morning and I just thought nothing of it. I just went, oh, that's a lovely morning. And then we were sitting at dinner and Shay is
Yeah.
about to tell the story, but there was a bit of a situation.
Yeah. So I was lying in bed and had a bit of a sore head, and I was next to I picked up the phone and was like, what happened last night? Realised that a wee video from the boys in the group chat. Opened it up, Tommy with a fucking video of the window in the bedroom of the river. Some boats going past and stuff. But I had a closer look at it.
There's one boat in particular.
Ship. But had a closer look at the photo, and in the reflection of the window,
Oh my god.
Tommy standing there in the stark with his cock out. Just so proud of it, like. So I was like, but like it wasn't really noticeable, but like you had to sort of look. So I thought, oh, he's just sent us in for a joke, like. Like, not actually. I sort of thought this morning.
I thought that was going to I was actually impressed.
I thought it was fake, but
Comes over to the river,
Cause you
wraps
know
it
the way,
over,
like-
shakes your hand.
it was almost like
Good job growing that, lah.
It was almost like a shadow outline. Like.
Oh my god.
So yeah, then I thought this was a joke, so I snapped him back a video of me and Aoife, and I was like, oh, nice cock. But obviously, this was not intentional, or that he sent us.
It wasn't intentional.
So yeah,
Definitely wasn't it?
we went out for dinner then earlier, and I brought it up, and Tommy just at that point was like, "Oh fuck, I did not realise."
So
you could see
it
that.
went on all day as well. I guess it was like hours later, and like because Shay sent in a video of like him lying on the bed, and he goes, "Nice cock," and then like Aoife poked her head over his shoulder, and I was like, "Oh, that was so funny!" Like that video was so funny. He sent in the Snapchat earlier, like, And she just goes, "What about you sending a video of your dick?" And I was like, "What are you on about?" And then he was like,
So
"You
can
stand there naked, like."
Can I ask, because I
What?
didn't really open the Snapchat and expect to see penis, like, but was it a reflection on the window, as in, like, could you see his reflection, or was it like a shadow?
He was
So
it was a
was it just
reflection,
like
but
an outline?
it was sort of an outline, but it was a shot you could make it out it was him, but like you couldn't.
I'd like to hope there's not another person running around this room with their dick out.
He's sort of standing to the side, but it was almost like it was so intentional the way he done it, because you could just see it sticking out the side.
I feel like I didn't even like look at the video twice. Like I just sent it,
Yeah.
like just sent it, put in views or something. But yeah,
I think maybe if it was a picture, I wouldn't have noticed because it was like flopping about and all.
but yeah, we had a good laugh at dinner about me being an absolute cock.
I was wheezing. I could not breathe because I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was
Thankfully,
funny, I was
I
just
didn't
like,
see
thank
it.
God it
You
was
were raising, you
Snapchat.
didn't
I know.
I mean,
I
thankfully.
I'll
feel
send you
left
one, I'll
out.
send you one tomorrow. I couldn't like.
You were so embarrassed.
I just couldn't believe I'd done it, because it's like I didn't even think twice of sending it, and then we were saying like, thank God it was Snapchat. Like if I'd have sent it, and we have like a group chat with the girls as well. Like. I was like imagine everyone like at dinner going like zooming in here, look there it is there.
I'm
I
just
would've
more
been
thinking
mortified.
like across this river is a pile of houses and stuff. I'm thinking surely somewhere over there is there's a professional cameraman with a big zoom lens who likes to take pictures of the foil in the morning. Just looks back and sees you standing in the start.
Sunrise,
Phone
and it's
out,
like Nessie's
That's-
Nessie's came to Derry.
Let's hope not. Oh my God. But yeah,
Sun and the moon in one photo. Wow.
that was. So yeah.
But what time was this at? Was this
It was
early?
literally like it wasn't. It
It was
was
about
like,
9 o'clock, like, wasn't
it
it?
was 9 because
We
we
dined
had,
at-
we had
we-
breakfast booked for 9:15.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh, we need to get up, and then I just opened the curtains and I was like, oh, what a view, guys. Sent it in.
The people on the bridge were probably thinking the same
But
thing.
I thought you meant what a view as in your cock. Like, I thought that's the joke.
No,
I was none the
I
wiser.
love the way the girls were like maybe like they just send things they got into the group chat. And I was like,
But I think we got like from there, because that's what one of the things that
think
the
that
girl
was-
said earlier. Like she was like whenever boys are in change rooms together, like do they just like fucking swing their dicks at each other and all?
lightsabers or some shit. But like, I would be quite concerned if you did do it on purpose, because I'd be like, we've now took this friendship to a complete new level, like, and there's no real time to even wean into it. Like it's just like straight from going
I don't
out.
think I'd have the confidence
Your
to do
glasses
that.
are steaming up.
My glasses are
I'm
from.
Cool
sweating,
down,
bro.
Ross.
My
There's
glasses.
enough to go around.
Ross is like, getting excited about the thought of another
But,
one in the
um,
morning.
It's absolute. Oh my God, I can't wait for the
I
morning.
wouldn't have the confidence. to
Ross
do
will be
that on
out.
purpose.
We'll be out tonight, and Ross will be like, "Can we go home now?" Like, I just want to go to bed. It's like a child on Christmas
morning.
He'll be texting into the group chat, guys, what's the view like? It's like outside your window, send us a video
I'll
on
be like,
that.
Thomas, couldn't be bothered to go away bed. Said as a wee view there.
LOL. But yeah, moving on. We haven't done a Tommy's question time in a while, so
Alright.
it's like we'll go back, do it this week. Been listening to a few podcasts though,
Of course.
Derry's
and,
got you thinking.
these questions seem to keep coming up, and I thought it'd be a good discussion to have, Isa.
Okay.
So if you were to go out on a night out and you were to bring 3 people, dead or alive, like celebrities or whoever you want, like, you're going on a mad night out, like just going out on the drink,
Right.
who would you bring? 3 people. It can be dead or alive. Like.
This is a difficult one. Like, would you be going down the sort of route of someone that you've just always wanted to meet, or
I'll give an example. So like it's Ben Foster's podcast. They've started doing this, like,
yeah,
and their answer, Jesus, excuse me, their answer was, one of them said Gaz, obviously because they're like footballers. Like obviously now he's an
oh
alcohol-
Gaza,
yeah, Gaza,
Yeah.
and then
He'd be
who
mad.
else? One of them said Noel Gallagher,
Right.
and then one of them was like Michael Jackson. And you're a bit because he'd be dancing and all. They're basically like
think he
just
would.
forget about all the bad stuff and all. Like obviously like Gaza was like being an alcoholic and stuff, like, you know, but back in the day. Like.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your
Who would
thoughts?
you?
What
bring?
what sort of a night out is it like?
You're just going out drinking and like proper
Yeah.
on the sauce, like out with the boys.
Yeah.
Who would you bring?
I was thinking about it on the way up the road and I was thinking, I think Ed Sheeran would be good in the drink, like. And I love Ed Sheeran, so I would love to go out with him. Like.
You'd have Capaldi there.
Capaldi,
I was
what a
about to
shout!
say,
Didn't even think
Lewis
of him.
Capaldi would be
Yeah.
one of my ones.
You know who I actually think wouldn't be a bad shout? Like?
Who?
Niall Horan.
Niall Horan and Lewis Capaldi.
That would be sick.
What? That would be sick.
Niall
They're
Horan's
best mates.
Good crack, like.
Is he like,
And he's Irish as well.
They're-
So, you know, you've got the Irish in there that he loves to drink. Like.
man,
They're best mates.
Roy Keane. Imagine the fights after. Like.
I was listening to Roy Keane done that there, or watching that. Gary Neville does like a, what do you call it? It's like this new show he does on YouTube, and he had Roy Keane on it, and it was like just proper an hour interview, and it was Roy Keane was like saying, Eric used to go on mad in the drink. Like he says, like we United used to go out like on a Wednesday night, on a Saturday night, like every week.
Yeah.
But he's like, obviously you couldn't do it now. But he's like, they had some mad nights out. He's like you'd have Ferguson coming in. He's like, oh, I heard you getting in the taxi last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I've heard that you were blah blah blah. And Roy Keane would be like, yeah, I did. And he's like, you'd obviously tell a white lie and say like, oh, like only had like 10 bottles of beer. And he's like, it was like 10 bottles an hour and stuff like that. But that's not a bad shout, like Roy
I'd
Keane.
say be an ignorant dog to bring out. Like.
Trying to think who else.
I don't know.
Say change it up a bit then.
You'd like to bring.
Say like you were going out for a pint then, 3 years going out.
Mm-hmm.
You'd bring Marcus Mumford.
I would definitely bring Marcus Mumford. I think I would bring your guy James Smith. You know, the PT guy.
Oh, that's a bit shit. That
Why?
one.
I think he seems like a crack. Like.
I'd say he'd be such a bummer. Like
I think
No,
he
I-
would be like.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think you'd imagine him being a good crack.
he'd be like, nah, that's got so much gluten in it. Man.
No, I
You
don't
can't
think he
drink
would.
that.
Like. I think he'd be like proper after. I think he's the type of fella after like 2 pints would probably be
Maybe,
like, "Will we go
he
on
is
the
a
lash?"
proper lad, like.
Yeah.
But James Smith, don't know.
Bring-
Out from like you, can you think of like any sort of YouTubers you'd love to go out with?
Yes. What do you call?
Would
The
love
guy with the full send up. Fucking or not full
One of
send
the
up.
Nelk
That's the merch.
boys.
Nelk boys. You'd love to go out
Have
with
you
all
seen
of
their videos? I only watched a few of them the other day. Mad.
Steve.
Steve,
out of
he's
Nelk boys.
mental.
Sick on.
He's watching the videos where Jabai's a virgin, like,
Yeah.
and they were like talking about and they got him to lose his virginity. You know? It was mad.
I think I would love to. I would love to go on a night out with all like like David Dobrik and all.
Yeah.
I think that would turn like you seen the
They
ones
just do
that-
mad stuff.
Yeah,
though.
like riding the motorcycle into the
But you
pool.
almost have to do something really stupid just for
Yeah.
David Dobrik. It's just
Yeah.
like
And
I
that-
could
is
just
that me,
imagine he's
like-
like, I'll give you thousands of pounds to just like drive that car into a wall.
Dead on.
No worries,
I do
David.
it. Full send up.
Heading out with David Dobrik. Corinna arrives. Hello. Am I right?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
Mm,
You haven't really given anyone shit. Who do you think?
Fucking give David and Roy Keane. I give all
Roy Keane.
on Capaldi. That's my 3, I think.
hmm.
Roy Keane,
Capaldi-
Capaldi, and Steve.
I
out of
think
fucking-
Capaldi, Ed Sheeran, and Niall Horan would be good. Maybe that's a bit shit. Liam Gallagher. I think I'd go out with him. He'd
I
be
don't know the
mental.
difference in them.
Liam Gallagher was just mad. Like,
Gandhi.
Jesus.
He'd have
Gandhi?
good stories. With it.
Gandhi.
Yeah.
Why Gandhi?
Because he's mad, Connor.
Is he?
Yeah, nuts that.
Him pulling up to the pub in the flip flops.
What about
to see it.
Tommy Fury? Or not Tommy Fury. Tyson Fury.
Conor
He
McGregor.
can fight,
Conor
so.
McGregor. Oh, what a shout. Didn't
Yeah.
even think of him. That'll be class.
You'll do nothing.
Ted Bundy.
You just something mad would happen. Like.
Why you walk? All right.
Just for like, what if it was a one night thing, like you're not gonna meet him
Ted
again, like.
Bundy, jeez.
Like just to like get inside his head and just be like, why man?
It's a
Why?
bit dark. Huh?
Hmm.
But like it would be something
Why-
different. I'm just gonna throw a
A
bit of
bit
a fucking
out
spanner
there.
on it.
But we're going from night out to then sitting down with a pint. I feel like sitting down
You
with a pint.
probably come home and like vomit, but if you went out with Ted Bundy,
You'd be.
just in the mind of a serial killer, fuck, I am baiting Swala.
Yeah. Do you want to open that window?
She
Probably
has.
won't affect the
It
sound
won't
too
affect
much.
it.
They have them windows shut tight. Like I understand for reasons why they have them shut tight, but like flip me, like who's gonna a couple of other inches would have done the job. Like
Slide out
That's
there.
what she said.
yeah.
What else? Will we end it there, or is there anyone else you can think of?
No, like no. I think if it was a, I couldn't think.
Conor
of-
McGregor. That's like, out
McGregor.
of anyone. So if narrowed down from everyone we've said, I think Conor McGregor is a strong one.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
Capaldi.
Yeah.
Definitely.
and Niall Horan. I think Niall Horan's a good shout. Like I think Niall Horan, Capaldi, and someone else would be on my list. I'm not sure I would take Ed Sheeran,
Ted
but
Bundy.
Niall Horan and Capaldi.
Justin Bieber.
No, he's a wet wipe, mate. He is like see anything that I see with Justin Bieber in it now, I'm completely uninterested. He just
Drake.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg,
But you'd just be smoking. You wouldn't be drinking. You'd be waiting.
Kevin
Right
Hart.
now, right now, fam.
Kevin Hart would be a good shout. Like
I feel
I'd
like
say he'd be funny.
yeah,
I feel like you need to bring The Rock too.
yeah, Kevin Hart and The Rock. That would be a good shout.
Kevin
Actually.
Hart, The Rock, Lewis Capaldi.
I thought you were gonna say if you could bring 3 people on a night out, and I was like, "What a basic ass question?" Because it would probably bring you two and one of my other friends
That's so
who
cute.
exist.
You're steaming up again.
Am I? Flip me. Aye. It is boiling in this
It
room.
is
Like.
hot.
How would you rate this hotel?
It's pretty good.
It's good location.
Like the
like.
complimentary fridge.
Yes.
Marks for that. Like.
Oh my
It's
God.
been refilled as well.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what's a joke though?
What?
Look at you
Fucking
swat.
room service for $5 before you can get anything.
That's crazy.
We rang down to get a strawberry daiquiri and a Copperberg, and she was like, "Oh no, I just rang to get a Copperberg," and she was like, "Yeah, that'll probably be like $4.50 or something, but it's gonna cost you $5 to get it brought up to you."
Right.
I was like, "I'll walk
That's a
in
bit
and
of a
for
rock.
that," and then I ended up getting like fucking 2 strawberry daiquiris and 2 Copperbergs, and then didn't even drink them.
I feel like they definitely throw that in there, hoping you say no. Just be like, oh no, it's alright.
Yeah.
So no one has to go up. No?
To be fair, we've had some we've had some weird interactions in elevators. Every time we've got in that elevator, we've met people.
You got in the elevator and it was like this old couple, like this man and woman. Ross is just like, where he's from? Just engaged, and I find elevators so awkward.
No, because
You don't know where to look, like where. And then I always just sort of.
that nice elevator. Yesterday we were walking out, and sure, was that this morning we met them or yesterday?
Who?
That couple that we were talking to. But in
Today.
the
It
elevator,
was
it was
today, yeah, this
today. But
morning.
like, I always find, it was really awkward at the start because we didn't want to get in with them, and the
Yeah.
door was pure shutting, and they like opened it again. I was like, get on in. And we were like,
Get on
There's a
in.
fucking sign that says you're not supposed to get in with more than one party, or only
Yeah,
one party
one
at a
household.
time.
But there's like.
That's
You'd be like, oh my watch. You'd be like, God, anyway. Like.
Yeah.
Like,
But you feel rude. Like there's that moment where like you've called the elevator, the door's open, and there's people standing in there,
aye.
and they're like looking at you, you're looking at them, and they're like, come on in, I guess, and you're like, no, I'll just catch the next one. Then you're like awkwardly waiting until the door closes.
you're like,
It was stressful.
we don't
enough.
want to get in
It
with
was
you.
Stressful enough coming up here though, because I didn't want to park across the road. I just wanted to park below it to
I'm
be.
surprised you didn't fucking walk
The road.
What?
walk here
Why?
instead of fucking having to bring your car.
Ross doesn't like leaving his car places.
I don't.
He like won't drive up to Belfast and leave it there overnight.
I just get worried. Like it's just one of them things. I just think to myself, what's the point in stressing out when you can just get the train?
What is your
What's the point in
worries?
stressing out over fucking your parking
But my
your car?
car's
behind?
here.
Let's-
Like it's no bother.
Let's dive into this
No,
because this
please
might be
don't.
relatable to
Please
people.
don't. Well, no. I think it was. I would have done it with the last car as well, and I didn't really care much about the last car.
Right,
It was a Corsa.
Yeah.
go on.
But like I would have done it with my last car, and I didn't really care much about it. Like I'd have swung it in anywhere parking wise.
Yeah,
Whereas with this car, obviously because it's like new and stuff, I've only had it for less than a year. I'm kind of like that person that when they go into the car park, they kind of park away from other people. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that car, whereas the last car, I was kind of like, no, I don't care. But I never actually brought up Belfast. It's just because it's one of them things. Like it's just like if I leave it there, if something happens to it, very very unlikely. But if something were to happen to it, I'd just be like, why did I let this ruin my night? You know what I mean?
It would ruin your month.
Yeah,
It would.
it would ruin my life.
you'll never come back up to Belfast.
Whereas you're just at that stage now where you're like, there is sometimes I'd have that with that car I have at the minute, is I'm like, it's a car, it's meant to be driven, like it's meant to be driven. There's gonna like, it's gonna get things, it's gonna get scratches. I feel like I'm coming round to that place mentally, if you feel me. But you're just like full on, please, I want someone to steal it.
Yeah.
Insure me.
What would you get for your next car?
I wouldn't like. I don't know. I'm in no rush to get one, so I'm not really thinking about it. Though. What?
Or you meaning like you're not gonna get one until you like get a house or whatever, or what?
Yeah. No. I mean, like, I don't want anything anytime soon. I'm just gonna like fucking drive that
Drive
into
it
the
into
ground.
the ground, like.
Pretty much. So.
What about you? What would you get next?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. Like if it had a bit of money to spare, a few cars at the minute that I'm liking is, you know, the BMW X5s.
Mhm.
I think they're really nice, like the new ones. I like them.
Can't imagine you in one of those.
I know. I just like the look of them. I think they're class. Obviously,
Yeah.
the goal would be at the minute. I think probably the nicest car you could get for like cruising about, like not a sports car, would be a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Like just absolute luxury. You know?
Yeah.
So I'd like.
And then I love Teslas. I seen a Tesla in Belfast, and it was like like a matte sort of wrap on it, and I was like, oh, like I'd love to get a Tesla and get it wrapped like a sick colour, like,
Yeah.
and just like I think because I don't think they're the most like best looking car you can get, but I just think I love the inside. I think like I love the inside of cars, like I love the interior. Like you're spending the most of your time in the car. You're not like,
Yeah.
and then as well as that, like it's like you see, like we were talking about this the other day. It's like you see all these like BMW like A classes and all, and like they're nice to look at, but you get inside them and they're just basic. Like.
Yeah.
Whereas like you get in a Tesla, I've never been in one, but you've seen photos of them. Like, but if they basically an iPod as a dash, like, you know, it's just class. Like.
Yeah.
It's minimal.
It's just I just think
Minimalistic.
the inside of the car is a big thing for me as well.
Do you think you have road rage?
No, people fucking could drive in the side of me and won't even beep the horn.
Hmm. So
I've actually seen times where like Aoife's reached over and beeped the horn for me. Like, I'm like, "Why?"
see, you done
What's
that
that
on
gonna
me at the
solve?
port the other day when the guy cut me off. You
Yeah.
reached
Oh,
over,
right,
but it
yeah.
was a bit of a joke. Like, but I
feel
was
like
thinking to
people
myself,
do
oh no.
stuff like, and you're just you need to react like stupid things.
But the way I see it, it's like, what's the point now?
There
Just
was-
gonna
I-
solve it.
see,
You need to
I would-
express yourself.
I wouldn't be a beeper. I've
Aye.
beeped once and it didn't work out well for me. Like,
Why? What happened? Let's get into this. That's,
So-
I hope this is a good story.
Is
Like,
there
I
any
was-
calls close to you? I need to wipe my head. Holy fuck.
wipe my using my shorts there if you want them.
you're not that bad.
I'm fucking
I'll go get you a towel.
baiting sweat here.
There'll be some
we're gonna
shop
take,
under this
we're gonna
podcast.
take 5. Holy fuck. This is wet.
I know. It's a bit damp. Like. So,
They clean my
Getting in.
jizz with that.
That's your big fucking cock out the window.
I cleaned my ass with that this morning. So, getting into it, I was in Ballymena one day. This was maybe when I was like 18, 19. Was driving up through the the town centre,
Yeah.
and it was pretty chock a block, like it was bumper to bumper. But there was these two young fellas, like they were probably like 16 on like mopeds, like motor 50cc things,
Yeah.
and they were pure weaving in and out of traffic. But like in Ballymena, anybody from Ballymena who can relate to this so well, because when it's chock a block, people just start walking over the street and everywhere,
Yeah.
like they'll just dart across the street. So these guys were pure like weaving in and out of traffic, but it wasn't as if, like, you know the way normal motorcyclists kind of come up the side off you and you'd be aware of their presence, but they're maybe going like 5 mile an hour, like just sort of filtering through. These guys were proper like zooming like in and out, like cutting in and out, but you could tell they kind of were doing it for a bit of a laugh, like.
Yeah.
But I had sort of seen them in the rearview mirror, and then the traffic started moving, and as the traffic moved, I put my car into first and like went to like go, and as soon as I went to go, one of them like just cut straight in front of me. And now, to be fair, I kind of like froze, but I jabbed the brakes on. But like, you know when you kind of think you hit someone, like when you jam the brakes on, it kind of it makes like a
proper
dump.
shock. Like.
And I like sort of squeezed my palm, and like the Corsa at the time, you know the way like some horns, it's only you just the wee centre bit, whereas it like proper came up. So whenever I squeezed my hand in, I took at the horn, and it was literally like a beep out there. And your boy looked back, and then the other guy came past, and the next minute your boy just stopped the bike in the middle of Ballymena, put the kickstand down, got off the bike and all, and come up and wrapped my window, like proper beat the side of my window, like.
No way.
And was just like, effing well, are you pumping for it out there? And I was just like, mate, I was like, I didn't actually mean to pump. I was like, but like, I was like, what are you
If you
doing?
want to
Like,
fucking pump, I'll pump you.
and then the other guy got off the bike and started coming towards the car as well. And I was just like, I'm gonna get my head kicked in here. But like my window was kind of half down, so I could talk to him. But all I thought was like, he's just gonna sink his helmet through my window, like.
Yeah.
And I think the more I was talking, the more I was pissing him off.
Yeah.
And then I kind of came to this.
What were you saying? Like, what was he
I
saying?
just was. He was just like, "What the f are you pumping for? Are you pumping at me and all this here?" And I was like, "Yeah, mate. Like, I pumped at you." I was like, "I didn't really mean to." I was like, I thought you hit the front of my car. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like, but like, you came zooming past it, and the next minute, your other guy got off and started like doing this here through my window and all, his mouthing off. And I just said to him, I was like, "What's he saying? I can't hear him. Like, he's not." And I think the more I was talking, because I was kind of weirdly enough was calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. See, I don't know, maybe you notice this about me. The smallest things, I'll get so triggered. But you see big things, I kind of be like, right, let's just take this.
Yeah.
You ever seen that YouTube video where the guy flips the car and he's like, right, let's just take this calmly.
Yeah.
That's me. So I was just like, I was just chatting away. I was like what? I was like, I was just explaining the whole thing. guy started mouthing in through the window, the other guy, and I was just like, what's he saying like that there? And he came over and was just like, do you effing well know your highway code? And then at that point I looked around and seen the 2 L plates on the thing and was just like, how long are we second here? Like, I was probably like 19, 20 at the time. Am I frig being chatted to by a 17-year-old, like, as if, like, what do you know, like?
Yeah.
And I just was like, what do you want? I just started yelling. I said, what do you want me to say? Like, I was like, I pumped the horn. I was like, why are you making a big deal out of it? Like, I was like, you're driving like a cock. Like. I was like, you come up past me out there. He just turns around and goes, I'll take a note of your number plate. And I was like, right, go on ahead. Like,
Yeah.
who are you?
Wow.
Traffic police. Like, I'll take a note of your number plate.
Yeah.
Oh, like, what's he gonna do? Like? But that was probably the
It's like
only
that
time.
David Brent thing. Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna take a note of your number plate. And I was like, I ripped him there on the head. Like, didn't even bring his phone out. Or
I'll
like
take it down for you.
I was
Here
like,
you
do
go.
you want a pen?
Do you want a pen,
Phone
mate?
numbers, huh?
You're the type
But
of person that would have a pen in the note.
I do have a pen in the car.
Here you go. Write it down. Write it in your hand.
I have a
sure.
pen.
Right,
You know that bit in the glove compartment where it's the wee clip thing that you put a pen into. I have a
Yeah.
pen in that. The Bars Butcher pen. Shout out Bars Butchers.
Discount code Ross 10.
But yeah, that was probably the one and only time. That's why whenever you peeped the horn at the port, I like sat back off him because I was just like, I don't want history to repeat itself again. He gets out of the car and Pierce starts mouthing off.
You're ready to go now.
I would just be like, it was him.
Yeah.
It was him. It was him. Don't blame me. But have you ever had any like sort of?
You know, like there's road straight through, kid. You know where like the bakery and all is, and the post office and all.
Yeah.
And the like bank. I was driving through like this road, and like it was when I was like 17, 18, and I probably would have been driving a bit recklessly, but like I wouldn't have been driving too
Youth.
fast through the town. Like I was, and then you know the way like people park on like why can't I
Side of the
speak?
street.
Side of the street, on there's fuck all room really, like
Yeah.
on that street, like.
Nice type.
But it's basically like in the middle of the town, and like when people park at the side of the street, they're not really parking spaces, but people do it.
Mm.
And I was driving through, and I was back with like guys used to hang around with at the time, like, and so I was driving like, and sort of had to cut in to the other person's lane because of the cars parked, and I went past, and my
Wingmer.
wing mirror slapped an other car's wing mirror, and it like slapped, like proper slapped against the window in, and like I think mine cracked then, like the actual the glass bit of it cracked, and it was like it was the middle of the town, like, and there's cars behind you, so I just went on like,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I think she might have stopped, but I was just like I'm not stopping and holding up traffic for the sake of a wing mirror, like.
Yeah.
So I drove on anyway, and then I pulled in like down beside a housing estate, like just on down, and I was just like fuck, like. Oh, this is a bit like I felt a bit bad then because I drove on, but I was sort of like fuck it. Next thing this guy pulls in, and he's like, you just hit my I think it was his sister's wing mirror there, and I was like, yeah, and I was like what do you want me to do? He's like, there was cars parked at the side of the street, and I was like, do you want me to just drive in the back of a car for the sake of not driving close to someone, like?
Mhm.
And then he was trying to be all like, oh, like her wing mirror's damaged or whatever, and I was like, look at my wing mirror. It's
Yeah.
like mine smashed as well,
Yeah.
like, and then he
Right.
sort of was like dead on. Then he was sort of like, "Oh, well, like," but I was just proper like, "What did you want me to do? Drive into
Mhm.
the back of a car?" Like,
I
it's
think
one of them
I
things.
think hitting wingwards is like the worst, because that happened to me on like a really narrow country road. I met an Audi A6, and to be fair, I had the dash cam right, and whenever I look back at it, he was coming into my lane. Like
Yeah.
he like, I got it up in the laptop and was like showing data, and I was like because he was a bit of the same, like he acted like a bit of a prick, but like my wing, the glass part of mine smashed,
Yeah,
but like the actual wing mirror was fine. His wing mirror was completely and utterly frigged, like.
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
like it was an Audi A6.
Right.
So that's probably like 350, 400 quid, like.
yeah,
And then I googled mine, and it was like 40.
yeah.
And he was just like, me. I think he knew fine rightly, like he was sound, like. Plus as well as that, all his mates got out of the back
But
of
it
the
was
car,
his
and they were
fault,
like Magners, like they were drinking, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would say he's been drinking, like.
Yeah,
And he got out, and plus as well as that, whenever we look back, Agent I Private Eye, his girlfriend was in the car,
yeah.
so he hit me, and we hit each
Was
other.
it his fault, or was it just
Well,
sort of?
it's a
it just
narrow. It
happened,
was a
like?
narrow road, like, but like
Mm.
I wasn't annoyed. I was just like 40 quid will replace that glass. So I was just like, I don't really want. Like he could have very well got out and just went, it's 50-50. Like you pay for yours, not like that's what happened. Like I paid for mine, he just paid for his,
Yeah,
and we never heard from each other again. He's actually still on my phone as, I think it's like Michael Wingmer guy, and but I remember like he hit me, like my window was bit down. And I just remember, like, he kind of was like virgin. You know, when you kind of think, oh, flip me, he was wild close there. He was
You
getting
just
very
call him a
close.
virgin.
He was like getting very close. The next minute, just this bang, and I felt this like stuff like come up over me, and it was like glass, and I was like, oh my
Your
word, right?
window proper smashed. Like?
No, like the glass of my wing mirror. He hit me, but my window was down.
Oh, right,
so like
okay.
when he hit me, all the stuff came in, and I was like, "Oh, flip that right, dead on." So then I went bit down the road, like to turn, come back up again. Like I must have drove up that road about 1.5 miles, 2 miles before I found him at the, like he'd parked at the side of the road.
Yeah.
But he was just like, "Oh, sorry, like sorry, let this happen." And all that. There, he was like, I would have stopped, like it's wild bad bend and all. And I was like, "Yeah, sweet mate, you're grand." And he was sound about it, like. But then whenever I look back at it, he was just like, "Oh, I didn't even see you," like type thing. He was like, "I didn't think I was virgin into your lane," type thing. And I was like, "I think you were." I was like, "But to be honest with you, like, I'm happy enough to fix mine if you want to fix yours."
Yeah.
Just trying to get off with it, because I think at the time you're a young driver and you're just like, I'm gonna get shafted by insurance if this goes through insurance.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point in insurance when you're young? Like, honestly.
Oh.
But yeah. Then whenever I look back in the dash cam, he wasn't driving. It was the girlfriend driving.
Fuck off.
Mhm.
So they've obviously stopped so he could change
they
over.
pulled the old switcheroo down the road. I was
no
like,
way.
yeah.
You should have blackmailed
You
him
could
into
have
getting in your car.
proper
Like.
done him
I
there.
don't know.
What a nice guy.
Whiplash and all that.
I know. I had a mate in the car, and he was just like, "Should I just get out of the car and pure start crying and all?" And I was like,
Lying
"No."
around
Would you
it.
ever do that though? I would never do that.
See, I've seen there's people who like, if they see a bad accident on the road, actually jump into the car with the person. Like if they're walking past, they jump into the car and they're like, "I've been in this car this whole time."
Have you seen
And
all
claim
them
whiplash
Russian?
and all that.
Have you seen all
What?
them Russian
Yeah.
dash cams, where it's like the
Oh,
boys in the
yeah.
moped and he
Yeah.
just like wags it in the back, like flops on top of the bonnet, and you're like, "What are you doing?" In other news, Ryanair have pulled out of Northern Ireland.
Mm.
Since we put up this TikTok.
We've maybe
what was that assignment? We posted on an
Yeah,
Instagram, but obviously you did Instagram.
something to
like.
do with like COVID or something. Like Northern Ireland government or something wasn't supporting people or whatever, so they just pulled out like the no COVID rules or whatever. But yeah, no more cheap flights now to Europe.
This is sort of trying to put pressure on the government. The way's up, or what is it?
Don't know. Sure, the government are just shelling out £100 vouchers now for people to use.
But you can't get one unless you apply to vote.
Yeah.
Can you not?
No.
Then you can
That's
apply to vote, and
scam.
then if you don't feel like
Not
voting, just don't
ideal.
vote.
Yeah.
Don't
true.
go. But yeah, they've left Northern Ireland. Sad times.
I didn't fly with them anyway. Never would have flew with them.
No.
I hate them.
Why?
There's fucking no leg room. I'm not even a real tall person, like, but there's no leg room.
Yeah.
I have big chunky tree trunk legs. Like. They just don't even fit in the fucking seats.
Have you seen on TikTok as well? There's a guy in Belfast does these TikToks, and I think he like, I think he does like the, what do you call the thing where like you do like the show, like the drag shows.
Oh, was this? I think I know what you're on
Yeah,
about.
it's like Sabrina or something it's
Yeah.
called. But like I seen him the
I
first
think I've seen
time,
this.
and he
Yeah.
was like gonna go in here to see what's the big deal with Stradivarius.
Yeah.
And then he went in. It was like, it's an illegal rave and all this here.
Yeah.
But he was doing all this. I've been watching him on TikTok for a while. Like, I think he's so funny. Like,
Yeah, he's funny. You know?
but he's doing the culture. He's doing the Belfast ASMR,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Tell your ma I was asking for her."
Have you not seen the ones he does of like, you know, all these ones like everybody's like, oh, if I got in an elevator with you, you know?
Yes.
It's like, oh, if I was your like pizza delivery guy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and he comes in with the dick inside the
Yeah.
pizza. He's like, "You'll not be getting your tip. It's an hour late."
Yeah.
See if I open that, your dick's on my pizza.
He's funny. You know?
Yeah. But I've been watching them on TikTok for a while. I'm like, he's funny. Like, I wouldn't mind trying to get him on the podcast. Like, I think it'd be funny.
Yeah, not a bad shit.
But we have a few more guests
Yeah.
lined up for the podcast. We'll maybe keep them secret.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's about it.
What's that on?
Saying nothing. Have you ever had any, going back to the RTCs, have you ever had any wee nicks and bumps?
No, I'm really good driver.
Apart from
Actually,
lorry.
Yeah, someone drove into me, but we've heard that one before.
Yeah.
But no. Actually, I hit someone's wing mirror in my mom's car one time. In the Rangy.
Oh, in the Rangy?
They were on holidays. It was flying up
Did
through
you
the
get it
town.
sorted before they came back?
No, it was fine. It was a big fucking brute of a wing mirror, like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The guy was driving a Citroen fucking... oh no, what was it? Fucking, it was a van anyway.
Aye.
And his was destroyed, like. He said it was already smashed anyway, but it came off and all that. But my ma's like wing mirror was fucking big brute of a thing, so it just went through his wing mirror.
Took a second to
Didn't even flick in. It was just like,
Yeah.
pew.
It didn't even flick in at all. Like. It was just fucking near went through the whole car. Like.
I had a bike crash into me once.
Did you?
Right.
Yeah.
When? Where?
Back.
Oh, I think you told me this story.
Yeah.
You actually took me to the scene of the
Got
collision.
absolutely shafted, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain.
So basically, I was on my way into school. And
Stay in school, kids.
I live out in the country, and it's just shit country roads. Like if you live out in the country, you'll know. Like there's just roads where it's like
Grass in the
it
middle.
shouldn't be 2 cars, like. And basically, there was just a real shit corner, and I was driving to school, and this bike came flying around the corner straight into the side of me. Like. And it's one of those things where everyone's like, "Oh, it happened so fast," but it was like, literally just was coming to the corner, and next thing my airbags went, and I was like pulled in, and I was like, "Holy shit!" But your bike came flying around the corner, and I would sort of like drove in. There was like sort of like a field gate, and pulled in, and then stopped. But he would flying around, hit me, like went the whole way up the side of my car, and then went into the hedge, and like you could tell he was flying because it took him so long to stop. Like. Whereas like I stopped in a short space of time, and he basically like it was my first car. He basically like went the whole way alongside it, and then like hit the back of the tire, and it came off like the rear axle, and the car was worth like 900 quid.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't worth fixing, so I ended up just scrapping it. But got absolutely shafted. Like the police and all came out because he was being just a dickhead. Like he got out of the car, and I was like, "Lad, what the fuck, you were flying there?" And he's like, "Oh, hold on a minute, what are you on about?" And all, and basically tried to like say to me like it was my fault, and I was in my school uniform, like, do you know what I mean? And then, but he was like just probably a bit older than me, like a few years older than me, and then I was dead on. And then I was just like you were flying. I was like, look where your car is. I was like, you're in the hedge. I was like, look how long it took you to stop.
Yeah.
I was like, you're just out of control and all. And and then next thing his mates landed down, two of his mates landed down. I swear to fuck. And I was like on my own, like, and then I was raging, like I was just not having it. I was like, are you fucking serious and all? And then he tried to go. He was driving like it was like a 2005 like Ford Fiesta, and he's like, "Oh, this car's worth like £3,000-4,000." And I was like, "Are you taking the piss?" I was like, "It's worth like 1,000." I was like, wise up. And then he's getting real twisty. Then he's proper dickhead, like.
Yeah.
Do you not say to him it's not worth that amount of money when
I
it's sitting
did.
in the hedge?
No, what I said, and then that was alright. And then his mates came down, and they were all like trying. I was like look, I was explaining to them. I was just like realistically, look where his car is. I was like, he was flying. I was like, I was like, "Oh, you're getting your mates to come down here, and I'll back you up." Like I was like, "This is a joke," because my ones were in work. So they took ages to come then. Like my ma came out, and then he was an absolute dickhead to my ma, like, ridiculous the way he went on. Wouldn't give us his insurance details or nothing and all this here, and was being a prick to my mum, and I was just fucking raging. So then anyway, police came out and all, and like I just feel like the police favoured him because I was just in my school uniform, and spent like a good half an hour chatting to him, and then came over to me and all, and then. But anyway, I left the car there. Thought nothing of it, and then next thing, and like the mechanic, we'd ran the mechanic. He was like, "Oh, will you come out and lift the car or whatever?" This rode off basically, and then the police, we'd went on then, and next thing, the mechanic came with the car to the house, and then the police came, and they were like, "Oh, we checked your tires there, one of your tires is like, or was like one or two of the tires were like." Literally, like, I mean, barely below the threshold, like.
Yeah.
And they were like, so basically, you're going to get penalty points, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, are you serious? And then I was like, did you check his tires? And they were like, no. And I was like, right, so you've checked my tires and you haven't checked his tires. And they're like, no. And I was like, right, so how's that for? And they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, well, half his car was in the hedge. And I was like, right, we'll go check his tires now.
Yeah.
Like, go do it, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're just absolutely shafting me here and all. And I got penalty points and all, and then he claimed off the insurance, like, and got like 300 quid or 150 quid, something ridiculous, like. So I lost my no claims bonus and got 3 or 4 penalty points, like.
Did you claim off him?
No. What was the point, like? I was like, wait, what's the point of losing? What's the point? But it was like on a country road, if you crash into someone, it's 50-50.
Oh no, wait, you didn't lose your no claims.
I did.
Oh no, wait,
because he claimed off my insurance.
Yeah.
Oh. Because I was like, what's the point? I was like the car, like it's gonna like. It was worth whatever, like £900, £950 I think I got it for. So like a Peugeot 308, like 2003 one. And I was just like, it is what it is, like I was raging at the time, like, but just shit.
I
shit
just so
show
claimed
all
off
day.
him because he done that. Like.
I know,
Just so
but,
he'd
like,
lose
what's
his
the
no claims.
point? Yeah, I know, but like that's just petty. Like I just couldn't be asked.
Just claim for a tenner. Like.
But it
Lost
just
the wheel
shows
not.
you,
Like.
like,
And make him lose his no claims bonus over a
See,
wheel.
Craic
Like.
my number
I
plate.
actually told a story for a good half an hour about how much of a cunt he was. Like honestly,
Be nice. Be nicer, people.
but yeah, so
I hate the way people get on with like R plate drivers and stuff. Like,
Oh, I had one yesterday. We went to Tim Hortons on the way here. I was fucking already and pissing off for him because I went through Dungannon and Cookstown, and the traffic was fucking atrocious.
I thought you were just pissy for him because you went through Dungannon.
Pissing me off, Dungannon. No, we
As a
went through
fine for him.
Moy, was fucking blocked.
yeah.
Dungannon, chocker blocked. Got into Cookstown, was like, fuck this is the same. So I was like, right, we'll stop in Tim Hortons. We'll cool off for a bit.
yeah.
And in Tim Hortons, we fucking got our feeds. And then we were leaving. And this girl was pulling out. So I let her go on. Then it sort of took a second to look and realised she was an L-plate driver.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I just let her out in front of me. But the road was busy as fuck. I mean, we sat behind the car. She was trying to pull out of the junction.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Like. And I mean, there was numerous chances, like,
Yeah.
where there was lots of time for her to go. But, like, suppose at the same time...
drivers where she was sitting with a clutch half out.
She wasn't even trying. But yeah, that's right. Because then we were sitting there for like 10 minutes behind her, and I was fucking getting pissed off again then.
Yeah.
And I was literally about to blow the horn, like, and then she eventually got out, and drove on. I went round her and into a different lane,
Mm-hmm.
and Aoife turned around and looked back, and she goes, "They're not wearing seatbelts." So
Oh my
don't
word.
go to that specific driving instructor because
Probably
she
COVID.
doesn't teach you how to wear a
what?
seatbelt or pull out of a junction.
Can't touch them seatbelts because COVID. That's mad though.
Any other good driving stories? I feel like this is the theme we're with. Like.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
No. I
Have you ever like crashed into someone? Have you ever had like one of those weird one, like one of those ones where it's sort of a bit of a like, oh shit, but then it's not a big deal because like, I'll give an example. Like there was one time, you know, coming onto the motorway from Craic, like there's that roundabout, and I was like, your woman, it was free to go, and I sort of like your woman was sort of moving forward, so I was just like, oh, she's gonna go,
Yeah.
and for some reason I don't know, like I just went then. I went
Yeah.
straight into the back of her, but like literally at like 5 miles an hour, and I was like, shit.
You
Then I
see in the back of her, like, are you going yet?
And then, so then, like, I just literally, like, went in, tapped the car, and I hit her, and I was like, shit. And then I got, like, she got out first, and, like, I sort of, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I was like, I don't know what happened there and all. And she was like, no, it's dead on, there's no damage, like, grand. Like.
Yeah.
And then there was, like, one time where, like, I was in Rice's car park, and this woman, like, was reversing and reversing. And I was like, she's gonna hit me, like. But
Yeah.
then you're sort of like, nah, like, you know, when someone's close to you, and they're like, they'll knock
Yeah.
hang on. And then she just went straight into me, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I got out, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and all. Like, she's like, I'll get you my details and all. And I was like, no, it's dead on, like, there's no damage. I was like, don't worry about it, like. Like, I feel like there is times you can be sound, you know, if it's not a big deal.
I avoid it. Potential bad one. Like, I must have been 18, driving home from school. Was coming down the road between like Ballymena and Cullybacky, and there was this like when you're going down that road, it's a big long straight road, like it's a main road, but then there's like two crossroads. But there's one crossroad where like you kind of come round the corner and like you'll see from pretty far away, but I come around the corner and I must have been doing about 50, and because I wasn't going that quick because I was quite a like a
Nice.
timorous driver, like.
Yeah.
And
Now you're a big VTAC
now I'm
pedo.
a big V-type
Fucking
boy. And yeah,
on the limiter all the time.
next minute I was sitting listening to music, and see, to be honest with you, do you ever get to places and you're like, I can't even remember driving here?
All the time.
All the time.
It freaks you out.
Yeah,
Like, there's
like-
times where you've been proper, like, driving through, like. and-
There has been so many times I've come up on a Sunday or come back home from Belfast when we're recording a podcast, and I'm genuinely like, where was I? Like, I can't
Yeah.
remember driving. And maybe wrap it up. I was coming along that road, next minute, it was as if by the grace of God something just was like, focus.
Yeah.
And I remember just kind of coming back into reality, and next minute in front of me, probably about 50 yards, this white flipping Nissan Leaf, you know, with the electric friggers,
Yeah.
stopped just with the
Just-
indicator on,
right.
waiting for traffic to come so she could pull in the off thing. And I remember I was like, I'm past the stage now where I can, like, I slammed on the brakes, but like, you know, when you slam on the brakes and then the ABS or whatever kicks in,
Yeah.
and it pure, like, you hear it thudding.
Yeah.
I was proper like, I am going into the back of her. And as I got close, it was just like, I felt like I was in Limitless and everything was just happening in slow motion. Seeing this flipping one of them gimpy odd signs where it's just like, oh, new mummy on board or something.
Oh,
and I was
God.
just like, aye. So literally there was main road, crossroads, she was turning, there was a road to her left hand side and a curb.
Yeah.
And I mean, the gap was probably no bigger than the size of that window.
Yeah.
And I managed to fit my car between the curb, her, straight in, past her, up onto the curb, round her, back down the other side, and just drove on as if nothing else happened.
Yeah.
But I completely avoided the collision. Like,
Yeah.
it was miraculous driving. And then when I got back to the house, I got out and realised that I took like half the grass verge with me. Like, the car wasn't damaged, but like there was a bar under my car and it was just full of grass. Like, it looked like I put like silage 2K19, like. But I proper was like straight behind her, up on the curb, down off the other side, and was like, should I stop? And I was like, well, I didn't hit anybody, so just go on, like. But it looked like, I would say to her, it probably looked like I was just one impatient little shit and just went, well, I'm not stopping, I'm just going right around you. So yeah,
I just had a flashback there.
What?
Whenever I was younger, whenever I was like it wasn't me, but whenever I was like, I think it was 13, 14, maybe 15, like, me and the boys would have went out like to my yard, because I live on a farm, and I had this farm quad, and would have spun about in it, like. So like, would have took turns and like stood about the yard, chatted shit or whatever, like.
Yeah.
But it was one day, it was actually one night, I was sitting, or we were flying about in the quad around the yard, and I was just off it, and one of the albies goes, oh, give me a spin. So I was like, yeah, jump on there. Me and an old lad were just chatting away, and he flew down the yard. It was pitch black, like. Next thing all I heard was this massive bang. Then this massive roar. He fucking started screaming.
Seriously?
We looked at each other like, what the fuck? We ran down, and the quad was like, he drove straight into the side of a shed. And he fell off the quad. He drove into a bucket of waste oil, and he was fucking covered head to toe in oil. And the quad was lying on its side, I think.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the quad was lying on its side, and he was just fucking covered head to toe in waste oil, like.
Oh, Jesus.
It was the
Imagine
funniest
that
one
happening
ever.
so fast though that you're just covered in oil. You probably think you've literally died.
Yeah, but it was the bang and the scream of it, like, just that's a fucking roar out of him, like. Bad crack, like, but
Yeah. Bad drivers.
yeah.
But here, we'll wrap that up there.
Yeah.
Because we'll probably record it for like 50 minutes, which was not my intention.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks very much for listening. And
Thanks.
dear knows where we'll be next week. Well, actually, we do know where we'll be next week. We're going to keep that secret.
Tune in, find out.
But yeah, thanks very much for listening. And go like, subscribe, comment, do all that other stuff. Really do appreciate the support. And apart from that, lads.
That's us.
See you later.
Let's go.